I'm about to show you the single biggest chess mistake I've ever made so that you don't make it too. Watch the rest of the video to see what I did. So let me start by explaining the situation. This was my first ever rated tournament that I did in person. So at the end of this tournament, I was going to have a rating. One of the things that lended towards me being nervous was the fact that this was a 5-minute blitz game. In fact, I was playing 12 of them in a row. And this was somewhere in the middle of the tournament, I think the 6th game. And I was playing against a 9-year-old. So I was nervous about that too. I had just beaten him previously, and so this was my second game against him. And I was nervous because I didn't want to lose against a 9-year-old. But what ends up happening in this game is probably even worse. So let's jump into it. This is the situation in the game. I'm playing as white. Obviously, I'm winning by a lot, especially because it's my move. All I need to do is take these 2 pawns, and then there's no way he can win. And so that's what I do. And now I have 3 pawns against just his king. And you might think there's no way I could do anything but win. But you'd be wrong, and you might be able to see where this is going. He takes my pawn. We start moving over. I decide that I should bring my king in to help with these pawns being pushed forward. At this point, maybe I have about 30 seconds left. So the number one thing on my mind is to make a move, and as long as I keep making moves, I won't lose the game. Because I don't want to run out of time and not win here. So I continue making moves. I move my king over. I move my king in between the 2 pawns. Because then, in my mind, I'm thinking, oh, my king can shepherd either one of these pawns. Maybe his king will stay in front of the f pawn. Maybe it'll move over to the h pawn. Either way, my king will be there to defend either one. And so I start shepherding my pawns up, push that one a little bit more, shepherd the h one up, and push it one more time, and then I bring the king back in. There are a lot of other things I could have done, but this is what I decided. And I think at this point you might see where the problem comes, especially after this move. He puts his king in the corner. I'm still in the mindset that I need to move as quickly as I can. And so I make the fatal error of pushing my f-pawn, which ends the game on the spot. And of course, he saw this way before I did. I thought the game was still going on. He says, with a kind of fake smile, he's like, "Ooh, I'm sorry, that's stalemate." And it takes me maybe 5 to 10 seconds to really register what's going on as he's stopping the clock. And I'm stunned. I'm just sitting there in disbelief that this game's over, and I just stalemated over the board. I made the most embarrassing mistake I could possibly make in chess. Especially because I have 2 pawns, and I should easily win this game, no matter what the time situation is. So let's go back through this and see all of the different things I could have done instead of what I did do. So from the beginning, after he takes this pawn, there is a rule of the square, and I don't think I registered it because this h-pawn can actually move 2 at once, and so then this becomes the square, and the king cannot enter the square, which means this pawn is going to make it before the king. So all I have to do is move this, and then the king tries to run over, but it won't make it in time, and I win the game with a queen. Another thing I could have done is, in this situation, I could have just pushed my f-pawn and used my f-pawn as a decoy, so that when he ends up in front of it, where, normally in this situation, if I didn't have this h-pawn, this would be a draw right here. Because if I move away, he takes, and if I go here, then it's a draw. It's a stalemate. Because the king can't move, just like in the other situation, except I have this pawn. So I have to push this pawn first. And so now in this case, he has to move there, and then I can push my king up, he has to move his king, and I queen here. And it's not a stalemate because he has several squares to go to, and I'm going to win this game. Last but not least, in this situation, instead of pushing this pawn, which draws the game and is only non-winning move, as a matter of fact, I can just simply push the h6 pawn, and I'm going to win this game because I can just keep alternating which pawn I'm pushing until the king has to move out of the way. and then I'm home free, and I have a queen, and the game is over. So, the moral of the story is watch for stalemates, especially if you're playing a 9-year-old who is looking for a stalemate. You have to register that and realize that that's the only thing you can do wrong besides running out of time. Recounting this moment was really quite painful. So if you want to counteract that pain in any way, please like or subscribe or do something below. Comment. Tell me if you want to hear more about this tournament. And thank you for watching. Bye.